Hello, dear children. I welcome you in today's English class, where we have already started the chapter of Holi. We will proceed ahead where we left in video 4. See, we had seen that Visambar's marriage proposal came for Holi, and his parents were considering that was a great opportunity for them to get their daughter married. Otherwise, they were not expecting any good match for Bholi as far as her physical and mental condition is concerned. Yes, but I wonder what Bholi will say. For her father was little hesitant because the proposal bridegroom age was very big, and he was just like her father's age or Ramlal's age, almost of Ramlal's age. What will that witless one say? She is like a dumb cow. But the mother was not ready even to talk to Bholi regarding this marriage proposal. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. And in the other corner of the house, Bholi was listening everything. Bisambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. He came with a big party of friends and relation with him for the wedding. Now the wedding settled down, the wedding day came. Bisambar Nath, because he was well-to-do, meaning rich grocer, so he came with large number of relatives and friends for the wedding. The brass band playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed and the procession, with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse, meaning it was a traditional scene where the band popular song was played and everybody was enjoying, and Bisambar Nath was sitting on a decorated horse like traditional bridegroom. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such pomp and splendor. Pomp and splendor meaning the show off. Ramlal was extremely happy to see such grand marriage party for Bholi. He had never dreamt that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. Bholi's elder sisters, who had come for the occasion, were envious of her luck. Even Ramlal had never expected such rich and grand marriage for Bholi. Even the elder sisters of Bholi felt jealous to see the luck of Bholi. When the auspicious, meaning lucky moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." When the auspicious, the lucky moment for marriage came, the priest said, "Call the bride." Bholi, clad, meaning dressed up in a red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. Garland the bride. One of his friends prompted Visambar Nath. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds. A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. Bisambar took a quick glance. The garland remained poised in his hand. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. See, the garland ceremony was about to start. Suddenly, one lady kept her feet on the veil of Bholi, and the veil just removed from her face. And Bisambar Nath saw the poke mark in her face because he got a chance to have a quick glance on her face. After that, when Bholi covered her face completely with garland, but Visambar Nath did not hide his face. Have you ever seen her? He kept the garland of marigold remain in his hand. Have you seen her? Said Visambar to the friend next to him. She had poke marks on her face. Now Visambar Nath became little suspicious about the poke marks of Bholi, and he asked one of his friends that, "Have you seen the poke mark on her face?" "So what? You are not young either." "Maybe, but if I am to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees. So his friends also told him, "Let it be if poke marks are there, because you are also not young." But earlier Visambar Nath, who did not want any sort of dowry, now he said, "Now her father should give me 5,000 rupees, then only I'll marry her." Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor, at Bisambar's feet. Do not humiliate me so. Take 2000 rupees. Now Ramlal requested him that take 2000 rupees, because I cannot manage to give you 5000, and it's a matter of my respect. Do not disgrace me among all my relatives. No, 5000, or we will go back. Keep your daughter. Be a little considerate, please. If you go back, I can never show my face in the village. Then out with 5000. Now he insisted again and again for 5000 only, otherwise, he was ready to go back with the marriage procession. Ramlal was asking, pleading, requesting again and again for not becoming so adamant, but he was not listening. Tears streaming down his face, Ramlal went in, opened the safe, and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle at the bridegroom's feet. There were no chance left for Ramlal. He counted, he wanted only 5000 rupees. Now Ramlal had to count all 5000 rupees. He placed the bundle at the bridegroom's feet. On Bisambar's greedy face appeared a triumphant smile. He had gambled and won. Give me the garland, he announced. Now there was the happiness, the victorious smile on Ramlal's face, that he gambled. That was the gambling only, asking for 5000 rupees. He gambled and he got those 5000 rupees. So he announced that he was ready for marriage. Now give me the garland. Once again the veil was slipped back from the bride's face, but this time her eyes were not downcast. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband, and in her eyes there was neither anger nor hate nor cold, only cold contempt. Now again the bride's face was without veil, but this time it was not by any incident or any accident. It was the decided efforts done by Bholi only. She removed her veil and she started looking directly towards Bisambar Nath, her prospective husband, and she started speaking without stammer. Pitaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this man. She declared that I am not going to marry the same Bholi who was known as Simpleton. But she had decided something in her life, for her upcoming life. And what she said? Ramlal was thunderstruck. The guest began to whisper, "Oh, so shameless, so ugly and so shameless. Bholi, are you crazy?" shouted Ramlal. "You want to disgrace your family? Have some regard for your izzat, our izzat." "For the sake of your izzat," said Bholi, "I was willing to marry this lame old man. But I will not have such a mean, greedy and contemptible coward as my husband. I won't, I won't, I won't." Everybody was shouting on Bholi that why had she become so shameless. So her father said, "Please, for the sake of our izzat, do not speak anything." But Bholi said, "For the sake of your izzat, your respect, I was ready to get married with this old man. But now I don't want to get married with such greedy man. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless dumb cow." Bholi turned violently on that old woman. "Yes, auntie, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb driven cow. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now the dumb cow, the stammering fool, is speaking. Do you want to hear more?" Now the one old lady was saying, "Shameless girl, shameless." So she said, "Yes, you are very right, that generally you all considered me as a dumb cow, as a dumb person. But yes, if you want to hear some more, I have something more for you." Now Bholi became so fearless. Bisambar Nath the grocer started to go back with his party. The confused bandmen thought this was the end of the ceremony and stuck up a closing song. Bisambar Nath wanted to run away from that place, and the band people misunderstood. They thought it was the final departing ceremony going on. They started playing the departing song. Ramlal stood rooted to the ground, his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. Ramlal could not take up his face because he was feeling grief and shameful. The flame of the sacred fire slowly died down. Everyone was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, "But what about you? No one will ever marry you. What shall we do with you?" Now, Ramlal, when everybody had gone, the sacred fire also extinguished now. So now Ramlal asked to Bholi, "Now what will you do? Will we do with you? Nobody will marry you now." And Sulekha said in a voice that was calm and steady, "Don't you worry, Pitaji. In our old age, in your old age, I will serve you and mother, and I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Is not that right, ma'am?" The teacher had all along stood in a corner watching the drama. "Yes, Bholi, of course," she replied, and in her smiling eyes was a light of deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of her masterpiece. Then Bholi said, "Pitaji, you don't worry. I will start doing job in the same school which had given me everything." And at the side, the teacher was standing and observing everything, and there was that set of satisfaction which an artist had after seeing completed picture. Thank you, everyone.